Snow fell softly on Evergreen Lane. Each flake was a tiny crystal star, twinkling as it landed. The houses were all lit up with Christmas lights. They glowed warm and bright, like friendly faces in the frosty air. It was Christmas Eve, and the town was filled with the sweet anticipation of the holiday.
I love Christmas. The smell of gingerbread baking in the oven, decorating the Christmas tree with Emily.
This year, though, a shadow hung over Jamie's heart. Emily was not her usual cheerful self. She seemed quiet and withdrawn. Jamie wanted to help, but he didn't know how. What could he do to bring back his sister's smile?
What could I do?
As he looked out his window at the falling snow, an idea began to form in his mind. It was a wish, a Christmas wish, as pure and white as the snow itself. Jamie knew just who to ask for help: Santa Claus. Jamie went to his room and pulled out his special Christmas stationery. It was red with a green border and tiny pictures of Santa and his reindeer. He picked up his favorite pencil, the one with the Santa hat eraser. Slowly and carefully, he began to write his letter.
Dear Santa.
Jamie paused, chewing on the end of his pencil. He knew what he wanted to ask for, but putting it into words felt harder than he expected. Finally, he took a deep breath and continued.
This year I don't want any toys for Christmas. I just want my sister Emily to be happy again. She hasn't been smiling lately. Please, Santa, bring back her joy. That's all I want for Christmas.
Jamie folded the letter carefully and placed it in an envelope. He addressed it to Santa Claus, the North Pole. Then he put on his warmest coat and boots and went outside. He walked to the tallest hill in town, the one they called Sugarloaf Hill. Standing at the top, he closed his eyes and let the wind take his letter, carrying his Christmas wish up to the stars and beyond. That night, Jamie's family gathered for their traditional Christmas Eve dinner. There was roast turkey and mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce and pumpkin pie, but even the delicious food couldn't lift the sadness that seemed to hang in the air. Emily picked at her food, a faraway look in her eyes.
I'm just not that hungry.
Jamie's parents exchanged worried glances, but they tried to keep the atmosphere cheerful. They talked about Christmas memories and sang carols, but the joy felt forced, like a candle flickering in the wind.
Remember the time we built that huge snowman in the yard?
After dinner, they all gathered around the Christmas tree to open presents. Jamie watched as Emily unwrapped her gifts. She smiled politely, but the spark was missing from her eyes.
Oh, I hope my Christmas wish reaches Santa.
Jamie's heart sank. Would his Christmas wish ever reach Santa? Later that night, after everyone else had gone to bed, Jamie lay awake. He looked out his window at the snow falling softly, blanketing the world in white. He listened to the sound of the wind whistling gently through the trees, and then he heard it, a faint sound far off in the distance. It was a tinkling sound like bells, but clearer and brighter than any bells he had ever heard before.
Could it be...
Jamie jumped out of bed and ran to the window. He held his breath and listened. The sound grew louder, closer. It was coming from the sky. He looked up and saw a bright light moving across the star-filled sky. It was Santa's sleigh, pulled by his team of reindeer, their antlers adorned with twinkling lights.
It's Santa!
The sleigh landed softly on the roof, and Jamie heard the sound of footsteps on the shingles above. Then, to his astonishment, his bedroom door creaked open, and a jolly figure stood silhouetted in the doorway. It was Santa Claus,